Have you ever considered whether you possess unwitting habits that diminish your perceived intelligence? Or encountered individuals whose actions leave you questioning their judgment? This video will analyze 6 indicators of seemingly unintelligent behavior, not to judge others, but to facilitate self-reflection and personal growth. Wisdom is not defined by encyclopedic knowledge, but by the recognition of one's own limitations and the pursuit of further learning. Therefore, pay close attention, as you may discover insightful observations applicable to your own conduct. 1. Closed-mindedness. Closed-mindedness is a psychological state characterized by the refusal to consider new ideas and an unwillingness to change one's beliefs, even in the face of compelling evidence. Individuals exhibiting closed-mindedness rigidly adhere to their convictions and reject the possibility of being wrong. As Marcus Aurelius stated, "If anyone can show me that I am wrong, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth, not victory." This highlights that intellectual flexibility is not merely a sign of intelligence but a cornerstone of personal growth. The development of a closed mindset is not a spontaneous phenomenon, rather, it stems from a confluence of deeply ingrained factors. Fear plays a pivotal role, manifesting as a fear of error, criticism, or change, compelling individuals to cling tenaciously to established perspectives. An inflated ego further exacerbates this tendency. Individuals with an excessively high sense of self-importance often struggle to acknowledge the possibility of their own fallibility. The influence of ingrained habits cannot be overstated when a particular viewpoint has been deeply embedded since childhood. Altering it presents a significant challenge. Finally, the surrounding environment exerts a considerable impact. Immersion in an echo chamber, characterized by homogeneous opinions, significantly limits exposure to alternative viewpoints and reinforces the existing closed mindset. These interconnected factors contribute to the formation and persistence of closed-mindedness, hindering intellectual growth and adaptability. The detrimental consequences of a closed mindset are profound and far-reaching. A rigid and inflexible approach to information processing significantly impedes personal growth and development. The unwillingness to consider alternative perspectives prevents the acquisition of new knowledge and skills, thereby hindering progress and limiting potential. Furthermore, a closed mindset dramatically increases the likelihood of errors in judgment and decision-making. By rejecting constructive criticism and dissenting opinions, individuals become vulnerable to making flawed choices without the benefit of external validation or corrective feedback. This lack of critical self-assessment can have severe repercussions, particularly in professional and interpersonal contexts. The inherent inflexibility of a closed mindset also negatively impacts relationships. The persistent insistence on one's own correctness, coupled with a resistance to compromise, fosters rigidity and intolerance, ultimately leading to conflict and strained interactions. Such an approach cultivates an environment of distrust and hinders the development of collaborative and mutually beneficial relationships. Finally, a closed mindset fosters a distorted and unrealistic perception of reality. By clinging to preconceived notions and failing to engage in critical evaluation of evidence, individuals risk living within a self-constructed illusion, detached from objective truth and susceptible to misinformation. This detachment from reality can lead to poor decision-making, missed opportunities, and a general inability to adapt to changing circumstances. In conclusion, the cultivation of an open and receptive mindset is crucial for personal and professional success. Fostering adaptability, resilience, and the ability to navigate the complexities of the modern world. Expanding one's thinking is not merely a desirable trait, it's a crucial skill for personal and professional growth. A closed mindset is not an immutable characteristic, but rather a pattern of thought that can be actively reshaped. Cultivating an open mind requires deliberate effort and the consistent application of specific strategies. These include, firstly, embracing the possibility of being wrong. Mistakes should not be viewed as failures, but as invaluable opportunities for learning and refinement. Secondly, actively seeking out diverse perspectives is paramount. This involves engaging with a wide range of information sources, including books, podcasts, and engaging in discussions with individuals holding contrasting viewpoints. Thirdly, the practice of active listening is indispensable. During conversations, the focus should be on comprehending the other party's perspective before formulating a response, rather than simply waiting for an opportunity to interject. Fourthly, a commitment to questioning assumptions is essential. Instead of prematurely concluding, "I already know," cultivate the habit of inquiring, "Could there be something I haven't considered?" Finally, adopting a scientific approach to thinking is highly beneficial. This involves rigorously evaluating perspectives using evidence-based reasoning and logical argumentation, rather than relying solely on intuition or emotion. By consistently implementing these strategies, individuals can significantly broaden their intellectual horizons and foster a more adaptable and insightful approach to problem-solving and decision-making. Stoicism teaches that wisdom stems from recognizing one's limitations. As Epictetus stated, no one can learn when they think they already know everything. By readily acknowledging our shortcomings and embracing new perspectives, we not only cultivate wisdom but also gain greater control over our emotions and life choices. 2. Evading personal accountability by assigning blame to others. The act of blaming others, or scapegoating, is a demonstrable abdication of personal responsibility, a deflection of accountability onto external factors or individuals. Individuals exhibiting underdeveloped cognitive processes, upon encountering failure, consistently circumvent self-reflection and constructive learning by assigning blame to others, thus safeguarding their ego. This behavior represents a significant impediment to personal growth and maturity. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca eloquently stated, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials," underscoring the crucial point that life's inherent challenges are not excuses for blame, but rather invaluable opportunities for learning, adaptation, and ultimately, self-improvement. The consistent attribution of fault to external sources inhibits the crucial process of self-assessment, preventing the identification of personal shortcomings and the subsequent development of effective strategies for future success. This pattern of behavior ultimately undermines personal accountability and hinders the development of resilience and problem-solving skills necessary for navigating the complexities of life. Therefore, the conscious rejection of scapegoating and the embrace of personal responsibility are essential for fostering both individual growth and societal progress. The propensity to assign blame stems from several deeply rooted psychological factors. Firstly, the fear of judgment plays a significant role. Individuals, when confronted with errors, often seek justifications to mitigate potential criticism and avoid the discomfort of accountability. This defensive mechanism prioritizes self-preservation over honest self-assessment. Secondly, an inflated sense of self-importance, or ego, frequently inhibits the admission of fault. Individuals with high self-esteem, paradoxically, may struggle to acknowledge their mistakes, viewing such admissions as a threat to their perceived competence and status. This resistance to self-critique hinders personal growth and effective problem-solving. Thirdly, a lack of self-confidence contributes significantly to the tendency to externalize blame. Individuals lacking faith in their abilities may deflect responsibility onto others, avoiding the perceived challenge of addressing the issue directly and potentially exacerbating the problem. Finally, ingrained behavioral patterns established during formative years significantly influence adult behavior. Individuals raised in environments characterized by excessive leniency and a lack of accountability often develop a habitual tendency to externalize blame, hindering their ability to take ownership of their actions and learn from their mistakes. This ingrained pattern perpetuates a cycle of avoidance and prevents the development of crucial self-reflective skills. The ramifications of blame are far-reaching and detrimental to personal growth and interpersonal relationships. Firstly, a refusal to accept responsibility prevents crucial self-reflection and learning from mistakes, effectively hindering personal development and perpetuating a cycle of stagnation. Individuals who consistently avoid accountability remain trapped in a pattern of repeated errors, failing to acquire the necessary skills and insights for future success. Secondly, the act of blaming others is inherently destructive to relationships. It fosters resentment, erodes trust, and creates an environment of conflict and hostility. Accusations, even if seemingly justified, are perceived as attacks, leading to damaged connections and strained communication. Thirdly, a blame-oriented mindset results in a profound loss of personal control. By externalizing responsibility, individuals relinquish their agency and power to shape their own lives. They become passive victims of circumstance, forfeiting the opportunity to learn, adapt, and effect positive change. Finally, the failure to acknowledge and learn from mistakes inevitably leads to their repetition. Without introspection and a commitment to personal accountability, individuals are destined to encounter similar challenges and setbacks in the future. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound statement underscores the importance of focusing on our responses to external events rather than assigning blame. Instead of succumbing to the temptation of externalizing responsibility, we must cultivate a proactive approach, concentrating on identifying solutions and taking ownership of our actions and their consequences. How to cease assigning blame and embrace accountability. Firstly, cultivate a keen awareness of blame-shifting behaviors. Engage in rigorous self-reflection, consistently questioning whether you are deflecting responsibility onto others rather than undertaking introspective analysis of your own actions and contributions to the situation. Secondly, transition from a blame-oriented mindset to a problem-solving approach. Instead of dwelling on the question of culpability, who is at fault? Actively focus on identifying constructive solutions. What actionable steps can I take to improve the situation? Thirdly, cultivate humility. Acknowledging errors is not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to personal growth and maturity. It demonstrates a willingness to learn and improve. Fourthly, actively extract valuable lessons from setbacks. Every instance of failure presents a unique opportunity for learning and development, provided one is willing to honestly assess their role in the outcome. Finally, concentrate solely on aspects within your sphere of influence. As Epictetus eloquently stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Instead of directing criticism towards others or external factors, concentrate your efforts on refining your responses and actions. This proactive approach fosters personal responsibility and empowers you to effect positive change. Stoicism dictates that we bear complete responsibility for our lives. While external circumstances may remain beyond our control, our thoughts and actions are entirely within our power to shape. This principle underscores the inherent capacity for self-mastery and personal growth. Even amidst adversity, consider, as a practical exercise, a past instance where you attributed blame to another individual. Instead of dwelling on assigning fault, engage in a critical self-assessment. Ask yourself, what valuable lessons can I extract from this experience? Furthermore, contemplate how you might alter your approach if presented with a similar situation in the future. This introspective process fosters self-awareness, promotes adaptive behavior, and ultimately cultivates resilience in the face of challenges. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes proactive self-improvement, urging us to focus on what we can control, our responses and our internal state, rather than lamenting what we cannot. By embracing this perspective, we transform setbacks into opportunities for personal development and cultivate a more robust and fulfilling life. 3. Overconfidence lacking a substantive foundation. Overconfidence, while a valuable asset contributing to individual success, represents a significant impediment when divorced from a robust foundation of competence. It manifests as an inflated self-assessment, exceeding one's actual capabilities. This discrepancy frequently leads to flawed decision-making and a staunch resistance to learning and self-improvement. The inherent danger lies in the illusion of control it fosters. As the philosopher Epictetus astutely observed, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This maxim underscores the critical distinction. Untempered self-assurance does not equate to mastery of one's circumstances. Rather, it is the capacity for adaptable responses, continuous learning, and proactive adjustments that ultimately determine the trajectory of success. Overconfidence, therefore, is not merely a matter of degree, but a qualitative deficiency characterized by a rigid adherence to self-perception, irrespective of objective reality and demonstrable evidence to the contrary. This inflexibility ultimately undermines progress and hinders the acquisition of essential skills and knowledge necessary for sustained achievement. The cultivation of a balanced perspective, integrating self-belief with a critical awareness of one's limitations, is paramount for navigating the complexities of life and achieving lasting success. The root causes of excessive self-confidence: the Dunning-Kruger effect. This psychological phenomenon demonstrates a correlation between incompetence and overestimation of one's abilities. Individuals with limited knowledge frequently overestimate their expertise, while genuinely knowledgeable individuals exhibit greater humility due to their awareness of the vastness of their respective fields. Lack of practical experience. Without confronting genuine challenges, individuals are prone to harboring unrealistic perceptions of their capabilities. The absence of real-world application and feedback mechanisms fosters an environment where self-assessment is skewed towards inflated self-perception. An exaggerated ego. Individuals with inflated egos often exhibit a pronounced resistance to acknowledging personal shortcomings. This inherent bias leads to a steadfast belief in their own infallibility, even in the face of demonstrably flawed understanding. Societal glorification of confidence. Contemporary societal structures, including social media platforms, frequently promote and reward assertive, self-assured individuals. This cultural pressure incentivizes the outward projection of confidence, irrespective of the underlying level of competence. The resulting emphasis on outward presentation can mask a significant deficit in genuine understanding. Short-term mentality. Individuals exhibiting excessive self-confidence often focus solely on immediate successes, neglecting a thorough assessment of long-term risks and potential consequences. This myopic perspective prevents a comprehensive evaluation of the potential ramifications of their actions, leading to potentially detrimental outcomes. The perils of overconfidence without a firm foundation are substantial and multifaceted. Overconfidence frequently leads to flawed decision-making. Individuals who place excessive trust in their own judgment without verifying information are prone to making critical errors with potentially severe consequences. This over-reliance on self-assessment inhibits learning and growth. A belief in one's own omniscience prevents the assimilation of new perspectives and knowledge, ultimately leading to stagnation and obsolescence. Furthermore, unchecked overconfidence can result in significant losses for both the individual and others. For instance, an inexperienced investor, blinded by overconfidence, may misjudge risk and suffer catastrophic financial ruin. The erosion of credibility is another significant consequence. Repeated instances of demonstrably flawed decisions, stemming from an inflated sense of self-assurance, inevitably lead to a decline in trust and respect from peers and colleagues. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "A wise man is not he who knows everything, but he who knows that he knows nothing." This timeless maxim underscores the crucial role of humility and self-awareness in intellectual and personal development. The acknowledgement of one's limitations is not a sign of weakness, but rather a prerequisite for continuous learning and genuine progress. Overconfidence, therefore, presents a clear and present danger to both individual success and collective advancement. Cultivating a balanced perspective, characterized by both self-belief and a healthy dose of skepticism, is essential for navigating the complexities of life and achieving lasting success. How to avoid overconfidence without a strong foundation? Cultivating intellectual humility is paramount. Constantly interrogate your own understanding. Do I truly comprehend this issue? Actively solicit and genuinely consider dissenting opinions. Avoid the cognitive bias of confirmation seeking. Rigorous verification of evidence is crucial before asserting any claim. Conclusions should never be based solely on intuition or limited experience. Embrace the possibility of being wrong. This is a hallmark of intellectual strength, not weakness. Seek mentorship from demonstrably competent individuals. Rely less on subjective opinions and more on the guidance of experienced professionals. As Epictetus wisely advised, if someone criticizes you and they are right, thank them. If they are wrong, smile. This underscores the importance of reframing criticism not as a personal attack, but as an invaluable opportunity for self-improvement and refinement of one's understanding. This proactive approach to intellectual growth fosters a more nuanced and accurate perspective. mitigating the risk of overconfidence born from insufficient knowledge or experience. The consistent application of these principles will cultivate a more robust and reliable understanding of the world, leading to more informed decisions and a more grounded sense of self-assuredness. Stoicism teaches that wisdom stems not from self-assuredness, but from a relentless pursuit of knowledge. A practical exercise to embody this principle: identify an area of perceived expertise. Then, actively challenge that expertise by questioning the limits of your understanding. Specifically, ask yourself, what crucial information might I be missing? Actively seek out dissenting opinions and counter-arguments to rigorously test the validity of your existing beliefs. This process of intellectual self-examination, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, necessitates a willingness to confront cognitive biases and embrace intellectual humility. The pursuit of wisdom is not a destination, but a continuous journey of self-improvement, demanding a commitment to lifelong learning and a courageous acceptance of the possibility of being wrong. Only through rigorous self-assessment and the incorporation of diverse perspectives can one hope to approach a more complete and nuanced understanding of any given subject. 4. Disregarding the consequences. The definition of consequence neglect is decision-making characterized by a disregard for long-term ramifications, prioritizing immediate gratification or emotional impulses. Individuals exhibiting this behavior pattern typically act impulsively, lacking foresight and prone to repeating detrimental mistakes. As Marcus Aurelius cautioned, our actions today resonate throughout eternity, underscoring the immutable principle that every action, regardless of perceived magnitude, carries consequences. Wise decision-making, therefore, necessitates a thorough and proactive consideration of these potential outcomes before any course of action is undertaken. Failure to engage in such preemptive assessment demonstrates a fundamental flaw in judgment, potentially leading to significant personal and professional setbacks. The consistent neglect of consequences reveals a deficit in self-regulation and an inability to effectively weigh short-term gains against the potential for long-term losses. This pattern of behavior often manifests in various aspects of life, from financial mismanagement and interpersonal conflicts to health-related issues and career stagnation. Ultimately, overcoming consequence neglect requires cultivating a heightened sense of responsibility, developing stronger self-control mechanisms, and adopting a more future-oriented perspective in decision-making processes. The disregard for consequences stems from a confluence of cognitive biases and behavioral patterns. A prevalent factor is short-term thinking, where immediate gratification eclipses long-term repercussions. Individuals prioritize fleeting emotional satisfaction or immediate gains, neglecting the potential for future detriment. This is exemplified by impulsive spending habits that jeopardize future financial stability. Furthermore, impulsivity and a lack of patience contribute significantly to this phenomenon. Individuals prone to emotional reactivity often act on instinct, leading to regrettable decisions. For instance, uncontrolled anger resulting in hurtful remarks can irrevocably damage relationships. A lack of prior experience with negative consequences further exacerbates this issue. Without first-hand exposure to the ramifications of poor choices, individuals tend to underestimate the inherent risks associated with their actions. The "act first, think later" mentality also plays a crucial role. This habitual disregard for forethought fosters a cycle of impulsive behavior and subsequent regret. Finally, an overestimation of personal control contributes to this negligence. Individuals with inflated self-confidence often believe they can effortlessly navigate any situation, thus dismissing the possibility of negative outcomes. This unwarranted optimism blinds them to potential risks and fosters a reckless disregard for consequences. The consequences of ignoring consequences, a path to self-destruction. Loss of control. Individuals who fail to consider the ramifications of their actions often find themselves adrift, their lives dictated by circumstance rather than conscious choice. This lack of foresight breeds chaos and prevents the establishment of meaningful goals and aspirations. Recurring failures. A consistent pattern of neglecting consequences leads to a cycle of repeated mistakes. Without learning from past errors, individuals are doomed to stumble upon the same pitfalls. hindering personal growth and progress. This lack of self-awareness perpetuates a state of stagnation and prevents the development of crucial life skills. Inflicting harm on others, impulsive decisions, devoid of thoughtful consideration, rarely remain confined to the individual. The ripple effect of such actions often extends to those around them, causing emotional distress, financial hardship, or even physical harm. This disregard for the well-being of others demonstrates a profound lack of empathy and responsibility. Squandering opportunities, a history of poor decision-making, fueled by the consistent disregard for consequences, inevitably leads to missed opportunities. Potential for advancement, both personally and professionally, is stifled, resulting in a life unfulfilled and riddled with regret. The accumulation of these missed chances creates a sense of profound loss and limits future prospects. As the philosopher Seneca astutely observed, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short." This timeless wisdom underscores the fact that impulsive choices not only yield negative outcomes but also represent a profound waste of precious time and potential. The conscious cultivation of foresight and the diligent assessment of consequences are paramount to a life lived with purpose and intention. How to avoid ignoring consequences? Cultivating long-term thinking is paramount. Before making any decision, rigorously assess its potential impact. How will this action affect me in 1 year? 5 years? 10 years? This proactive approach mitigates impulsive choices and fosters a future-oriented perspective. Furthermore, effective emotional regulation is crucial. When confronted with anger or strong emotions, implement a mandatory pause. Engage in deliberate reflection before reacting, ensuring responses are measured and considered, rather than impulsive and potentially damaging. Learning from past mistakes is not merely advisable, it's essential for growth. Analyze previous poor decisions, identifying underlying patterns and weaknesses. This critical self-assessment prevents the repetition of errors and promotes continuous improvement. A thorough risk assessment is an indispensable component of responsible decision-making. Ask yourself, what is the worst possible outcome of this action? Am I prepared to accept and manage the consequences? This proactive approach minimizes unforeseen negative repercussions. Finally, self-discipline is the cornerstone of avoiding unintended consequences. It enables the suppression of immediate gratification in favor of long-term objectives. As Epictetus wisely advised, first, ask yourself what kind of person you want to be, and then do what is necessary to become that person. This principle underscores the importance of thoughtful action and the critical need to consider the ramifications of decisions before implementation. Success and personal growth are inextricably linked to this deliberate and responsible approach. Stoicism teaches that all actions carry a cost, and the wise individual does not succumb to fleeting emotions but carefully considers consequences before acting. A practical exercise. Reflect on a past decision made without due consideration of its ramifications. What alternative action would you take if given the opportunity? Henceforth, when faced with a significant decision, dedicate at least 5 minutes to contemplating the consequences prior to acting. 5. Negative propagation. The definition of negative contagious behavior encompasses the dissemination of negative thoughts, words, or actions that detrimentally impact the mental well-being of oneself and others. This includes, but is not limited to, habitual complaining, unwarranted criticism, gossiping, and the propagation of doubt and pessimism. The pervasive nature of negativity necessitates a proactive approach to its mitigation. As Seneca eloquently stated, associate with those who will make you better. This maxim underscores the inherent danger of surrounding oneself with negativity. Prolonged exposure inevitably leads to its insidious absorption. The impact extends beyond individual psychological well-being, affecting interpersonal relationships, productivity, and overall societal harmony. Therefore, cultivating a conscious awareness of one's own contributions to a negative environment and actively seeking positive influences is crucial for personal growth and the fostering of a healthier social ecosystem. The conscious rejection of negativity and the active pursuit of positivity are not merely personal choices. They are essential components of a thriving and productive life. The propagation of negativity stems from a confluence of factors. each contributing to the pervasive spread of pessimism and discontent. Firstly, ingrained negative habits play a significant role. Individuals may unconsciously cultivate a pattern of complaining and negativity, reinforcing these behaviors through repetition. Secondly, the pursuit of attention serves as a potent motivator. Some individuals disseminate negativity to elicit sympathy, garner validation, or simply to command attention. This manipulative tactic exploits the empathetic responses of others. Thirdly, the surrounding environment exerts a considerable influence. Immersion in a consistently negative environment fosters a breeding ground for negativity, subtly yet powerfully shaping individual perspectives and behaviors. This environmental conditioning can be difficult to overcome. Fourthly, personal dissatisfaction fuels the spread of negativity. Individuals grappling with internal discontent often project their unhappiness onto others, seeking to externalize their frustrations and anxieties. This projection mechanism offers a temporary sense of relief but ultimately perpetuates the cycle of negativity. Finally, a lack of emotional regulation significantly contributes to the problem. The inability to manage and process emotions effectively leads to outward expressions of anger, resentment, and frustration, impacting those in close proximity. Addressing this complex issue requires a multifaceted approach, targeting both individual behaviors and environmental influences. The dissemination of negativity, a cascade of detrimental consequences. The propagation of negativity carries profound and far-reaching consequences, significantly impacting various facets of individual well-being and societal harmony. Firstly, it exerts a demonstrably negative influence on mental health. Consistent exposure to a pessimistic environment cultivates a breeding ground for stress, anxiety, and depression, potentially leading to debilitating mental health conditions. This is not merely a matter of subjective discomfort. It represents a tangible threat to psychological stability and overall well-being. Furthermore, negativity acts as a corrosive agent, eroding the foundation of interpersonal relationships. Individuals are inherently drawn to positivity and optimism. The constant barrage of complaints and pessimism emanating from a negative person creates a repellent effect, driving others away and fostering isolation. This erosion of social connections contributes to feelings of loneliness and exacerbates the negative emotional state beyond interpersonal relationships. The pervasive influence of negativity acts as a significant impediment to personal growth and development. A consistently negative outlook fosters a sense of hopelessness and resignation, stifling motivation and hindering the pursuit of self-improvement. The individual becomes trapped in a cycle of inaction, unable to break free from the self-imposed limitations of their negative mindset. Finally, the propagation of negativity creates a self-perpetuating cycle, a vicious feedback loop that amplifies its destructive power. As one individual disseminates negativity, it infects those around them, who in turn spread it further, creating a ripple effect of pessimism that permeates entire communities. This cascading effect underscores the critical importance of cultivating a positive and optimistic outlook, not only for individual well-being but also for the collective health of society. As Marcus Aurelius eloquently stated, "Your life is what your thoughts make it," a testament to the undeniable power of the mind to shape reality. A mind consumed by negativity will inevitably manifest a life dominated by its destructive influence. How to halt the spread of negativity and cultivate positive influence? Self-awareness is paramount. Regularly introspect. Am I currently engaging in complaining or propagating negativity? When confronted with challenges, actively redirect your thoughts. Instead of succumbing to lamentation, concentrate on formulating effective solutions. Minimize exposure to excessively negative individuals. If feasible, distance yourself from those who consistently disseminate pessimism. Cultivate a consistent practice of gratitude. Daily, record at least 3 positive aspects of your life. Employ mindful communication. Before voicing any statement, consider, will this contribute positively? Actively strive to create a positive impact. Instead of propagating negativity, endeavor to encourage and inspire others. Epictetus's assertion, "It is not things themselves that disturb men, but their judgments about these things," serves as a potent reminder of our capacity to control our thoughts and choose a positive response over the propagation of negativity. This conscious choice to manage our cognitive processes is crucial in fostering a more optimistic and productive environment, both personally and for those around us. The consistent application of these strategies will demonstrably reduce the spread of negativity and cultivate a more positive and resilient mindset. Furthermore, actively seeking opportunities to express appreciation and offer support will amplify the positive influence you exert on others, creating a ripple effect of encouragement and optimism. Stoicism posits that while external events remain beyond our direct control, our responses to them are entirely within our power. This fundamental principle underscores the importance of cultivating inner resilience and emotional regulation. Consider a recent instance where you engaged in complaining or negativity. Analyze this situation objectively. What specific triggers initiated your negative response? What cognitive biases or ingrained thought patterns contributed to your emotional reaction? A crucial element of Stoic practice involves identifying and challenging these patterns. If presented with the same situation again, how could you consciously alter your response to foster a more constructive and emotionally balanced outcome? Instead of succumbing to negativity, actively seek out the potential for learning and growth within the challenging circumstance. This proactive approach involves identifying even small positive aspects, reframing negative thoughts, and focusing on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and reactions. The consistent application of this principle cultivates emotional maturity and enhances one's capacity to navigate life's inevitable difficulties with greater equanimity and resilience. The next time you feel the onset of negativity, consciously pause and actively search for a positive element within the situation. This deliberate shift in perspective is a powerful tool for cultivating a more resilient and fulfilling life. 6. A lack of empathy. Apathy, the absence of empathy, is characterized by a profound lack of concern or understanding for the emotions, thoughts, and circumstances of others. Individuals exhibiting apathy are typically self-centered, failing to consider the perspectives of those around them. This deficit can lead to unintentional harm, inflicted without recognition of the impact on others. The ancient philosopher Epictetus's maxim, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we may listen more than we speak," underscores the fundamental principle that empathy begins with active listening and a genuine effort to comprehend another's experience, rather than a preoccupation with one's own opinions. This lack of understanding extends beyond simple inattention. It represents a fundamental inability to connect with the emotional realities of others, resulting in a detached and potentially damaging interaction. The apathetic individual not only fails to acknowledge the feelings of others but actively disregards them, prioritizing their own needs and desires above all else. This behavior can manifest in various ways, from dismissive responses to outright disregard for the well-being of those affected. Consequently, cultivating empathy is crucial for fostering healthy relationships and navigating the complexities of social interaction. The development of this crucial skill requires conscious effort, self-reflection, and a commitment to understanding perspectives that differ from one's own. The lack of empathy in individuals stems from a confluence of factors, each contributing to a diminished capacity for understanding and sharing the feelings of others. Self-centeredness, a pervasive issue, manifests as an excessive preoccupation with one's own emotions and problems, effectively blinding individuals to the perspectives and experiences of those around them. This egocentric focus prevents the development of empathy, as the individual fails to consider the emotional landscape of others. Furthermore, a limited range of life experiences significantly hinders the development of empathy. Individuals who have not encountered adversity or significant challenges may struggle to comprehend the suffering and circumstances of others. Without first-hand exposure to hardship, the ability to connect with and understand the emotional weight of another's struggles remains underdeveloped. This lack of experiential understanding creates a significant barrier to empathetic engagement, an inflated sense of self-importance, or an excessively large ego. Further exacerbates the problem. When individuals believe their perspective is inherently superior or correct, they demonstrate a marked disregard for the feelings and experiences of others. This unwavering conviction in one's own viewpoint prevents the necessary introspection and perspective-taking required for empathy. The inability to consider alternative viewpoints directly contributes to a deficit in empathetic capacity. Moreover, a deficiency in active listening skills significantly impedes the development of empathy. Individuals who are primarily focused on formulating their own responses, rather than genuinely listening to and processing the experiences of others, fail to grasp the nuances of emotional expression. This passive engagement prevents a true understanding of another's emotional state, hindering the development of empathy. Effective listening is a cornerstone of empathetic engagement. Finally, the surrounding environment plays a crucial role in shaping an individual's capacity for empathy. Exposure to an environment characterized by apathy, selfishness, or a lack of compassion can directly contribute to the development of similar traits. Individuals raised or immersed in such environments may internalize these behaviors, resulting in a diminished capacity for empathy. Therefore, societal and environmental influences significantly impact the development of empathetic capabilities. The ramifications of a lack of empathy are profound and far-reaching, impacting both interpersonal relationships and individual well-being. Individuals deficient in empathy frequently inflict emotional harm upon others, fostering feelings of disregard and devaluation. This deficit inevitably leads to social isolation and alienation. Those who consistently disregard the emotional landscape of others risk severing connections and experiencing profound loneliness. Furthermore, an inability to understand and appreciate the perspectives of others significantly impairs problem-solving capabilities. Navigating conflicts and disagreements becomes exceedingly challenging when one lacks the capacity to comprehend the emotional underpinnings of the situation, resulting in ineffective and potentially harmful resolutions. Communication, too, suffers significantly. The absence of empathy often manifests as blunt, insensitive, and inflexible communication styles, leading to frequent misunderstandings and the erosion of trust. As Marcus Aurelius eloquently stated, "What harms the hive harms the bee," a powerful metaphor illustrating the interconnectedness of human experience. Neglecting the emotional well-being of others ultimately results in self-inflicted harm, underscoring the critical importance of cultivating empathy for the betterment of both individual and collective well-being. The consequences of empathy deficiency are not merely social, they are deeply personal, impacting self-perception, mental health, and overall life satisfaction. Therefore, the cultivation of empathy is not merely a social grace, but a fundamental requirement for navigating the complexities of human interaction and achieving a fulfilling life. Cultivating empathy requires a conscious and deliberate effort. Active listening is paramount. When engaging in conversation, focus intently on the speaker's words and sentiments, resisting the urge to formulate a response prematurely. This necessitates a genuine commitment to understanding, rather than simply hearing. Furthermore, practicing perspective-taking is crucial. When confronted with another's hardship, actively consider their perspective by asking, "Were I in their situation? How would I feel?" This introspective exercise fosters a deeper understanding of their emotional state and promotes a more compassionate response. Emotional regulation plays a vital role in the development of empathy. Refrain from hasty judgments or negative reactions until a comprehensive understanding of the situation is achieved. Impulsive responses often stem from a lack of complete information and can hinder the development of empathetic understanding. Instead, cultivate patience and seek to fully comprehend the context before forming an opinion or offering assistance. Experiential learning significantly contributes to the cultivation of empathy. Actively seek diverse interactions with individuals from various backgrounds and perspectives. These encounters broaden one's understanding of different life experiences and challenges, fostering tolerance and compassion. Engaging with individuals whose viewpoints differ from one's own provides invaluable insights into the complexities of human experience. Proactive engagement in acts of kindness, however seemingly insignificant, strengthens empathetic capabilities. Simple gestures such as attentive listening, offering words of encouragement, or providing practical assistance when needed demonstrate a commitment to others' well-being. These actions, while seemingly small, contribute significantly to the cultivation of empathy and strengthen interpersonal connections. As Seneca eloquently stated, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for a good deed." This underscores the profound significance of empathy not merely as a moral virtue, but as a catalyst for fostering meaningful connections and enriching the lives of others. The cultivation of empathy is an ongoing process requiring consistent self-reflection and a commitment to understanding the human condition in its multifaceted complexity. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control how others treat us, we can control our response. Practical application. Recall an instance where a lack of empathy caused unintentional harm. How would you alter your actions? This week, practice empathetic listening without judgment. Have you observed any of these signs in yourself or others? If so, there is no cause for alarm. Recognizing these indicators is the first step towards positive change and continuous self-improvement. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on insightful content related to critical thinking, philosophy of life, and personal development. Crucially, share this video with anyone who might benefit from it. Your small action today could profoundly impact someone's thinking for years to come. Until next time.